sad to admit it, but I binge watch TV just like everyone else. The difference is that my binge watching is very genre centric. Earlier this year, I was on the serious kung fu movie kick. I'm talking old school dub, you killed my father ass flicks. I moved on to American martial arts flicks, then moved to female based martial arts movies, to now where I'm basically watching any action film with hand to hand combat. And of course, if there's some chicks in it, that's a big bonus. So, with that in mind, I settled on this little flick called Fight Valley, a film that had no business being as good as it was. Now, that's not to say it's a good movie, it's just I was expecting this shit to be terrible. So maybe you can chalk it up in the purgatory S category of so bad it's actually good. Whatever you want to call it, this shit was very entertainment and kept me engaged from start to finish. Fight Valley is primarily set in the slums of New Jersey. Now, I've never been to Jersey, but this shit seemed more like a white, trashy outskirts town rather than a urban dwelling hood environment they try to sell it as in the movie. But like I say, I've never been there, so what the fuck do I know? Anyway, the girls in this neck of the woods are always in some shit and settle their disputes with rival hood rats by fighting. And if those squabbles generate enough intrigue, they can actually make money off of them by settling their scores in the loosely structured street fights hosted down in Fight Valley, my bad. Against the better judgment of her girlfriend, troubled young Tori spends a little too much time in Fight Valley and unfortunately ends up getting her ass killed. This prompts her well-off sister, Windsor, to infiltrate the hood and befriend Tori's crew as she sets out on a mission to avenge the death of her sibling. Keep in mind that Windsor is an uppity bitch, never even been in a fight, so she sticks out like a sore fish, or however the fuck that saying goes, while in detective mode trying to gather answers to lead to the fucking culprit. Long story short, Winter undergoes intense training from a local street fighting legend in order to prepare for the epic encounter she hopes will bring closure for both her and her fallen sister. Now, visually speaking, this movie has a lot going for it. There's solid production values considering what I imagine was a modest budget, moderately attractive females. One chick was actually very hot. I think her name was Jamie in the movie. A gratuitous shot of coochie meat overlapping the back of a thong. Now there's something you don't see in your average everyday movie. And plenty of fights. What I appreciate about the action here is the realism portrayed in the fights. In most movies, despite looking cool as shit, the fights are simply too choreographed to take serious. I've seen my fair share of fights. I've been in even more, so I can tell you that the shit is never as crisp and clean as you see on TV. Instead, there's a lot of grabbing, huffing and puffing, wild punches, and a noticeable absence of roundhouse kicks. Fight Valley did a serviceable job of capturing the chaotic, often sloppy nature of street fights. While it's a C-grade indie movie, Fight Valley does feature some notable cast members and UFC standouts, Misha Tate, Holly Holm, and Chris Cyborg. They're not particularly great actors, but hey, fuck it. What did you really expect? Now, while I did end up enjoying the movie, the ending totally pissed me off, man. I can't lie. I guess they were going for a mix of positivity and redemption, but man, it was fucking lame. Major letdown considering the build and lead up to the climax. Also thought they botched the fucking budding lesbian romance. that was like right there for them to take advantage of. Like, come on, man. Whatever the case, this shit is still worth the watch if you're into these kind of movies. So check it out. Peace.